and if this one is really sleeping with that one, and there's real tension with real employees of Lisa's restaurant that has existed off and on for months and a year and years, it'll work. He's like, if this were cast and they're telling this one to go fight with that one and sleep with that one and flirt with that, he's like, it will be a disaster. I'm like, I agree with him.
I agree. He's like this is a bad connection to make, but sometimes Jax reminds me of like Donald Trump because you're like, okay, he says a lot of whack stuff, and you're like, I don't agree with that, and then all of a sudden he'll say something very like lucid, and you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Jax has
The IRS. I'm like, okay, like it's like there's certain things where you're like, well, that was a normal comment.
You're like, no taxes for anyone. Well, I'm gonna choose that one,
I'll
please.
take that.
Like,
Like
right.
Jax is like that. He says a bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm not rooting for you. And then he'll say that, and you're like, yeah, Vanderpump Rules isn't going to be good if it's forced and casted and like cookie cutter. It's not going to work.
Yeah. So there's something about him. I'm just like, I listen and I'm like, I kind of don't love you and I kind of love you. And I'm just confused, you know? He also says that LVP, let's be clear, LVP, I mean, everyone's slamming LVP lately. He's saying LVP does not have a lot to do with the Valley. She's a producer. Anything that comes out of Vanderpump Rules, she gets a credit on, but she has no idea of what's going on the Valley. So I think he's basically putting LVP in her place again.
Okay, I mean, no one believes that LVP crossed over the hill to go to Studio City and Encino. Let's be honest. I don't think that woman has been on that side of town in the last 10 years. So
I
no
think
one's
you're
leaving
right.
Villa Rosa to go over the hill.
Now,
No, no.
she goes to West Hollywood to check on the places and goes home to Beverly Hills.
Or she's in London. Like I don't think she's going to the Valley to check on these kind of second tier people. I don't think so.
I would agree with that. Well, he says he doesn't really speak to her. Scheana is now smiling and saying, no, I don't hear from LVP ever unless she needs something. And, Allie did that interview where she said LVP called her after she broke up with James and basically was like convincing her, not in so many words, to stay with James or give him a second chance. And Katie is now weighing in and saying, well, that's really funny because when I was divorcing Schwartz, she basically, kind of took his side and tried to get me to stay with Schwartz. So all the women are speaking out against LVP except Lala and basically saying that she prefers the men. And they're all saying, like, yeah, what do you think of her, Allie saying, oh, he tried to convince me to stay with James. And Katie is saying, yeah, she called me during the divorce with Schwartz and it was a very weird conversation.
Wait, so LVP was asking Ali to stay with James or to break up
And to
with
stay
James?
with him. Not, and that's what she said. Yeah, that LVP called her after the breakup to try to, he's a good guy and just really implying like give him a chance.
Well,
And
I've seen the Reddits where people are like, she always sides with the men, no matter how problematic they are. It's kind of like Indy Cohen with the Southern Charm guys. No matter what, Austin, Shep, and Craig do, it's like forgive it, right? Like doesn't matter
mhm.
what they do to who they do it to. So I think she kind of, but also to defend her, she is in her 60s. She is British. She's old school. She's probably like, when you get married, you try to work it out, right? Like I'm sure her and Ken have had moments. Again, I don't like that she's telling Ali to stay with someone who could potentially be abusive, but I think she is British, and I've worked with British people, and they tend to kind of, swipe things under the rug, and they go like, "Oh, that's how men are," and when they drink, they might put hands on you. Like she has this kind of old school mentality of like, well, then don't let him drink, then he won't be putting hands on you. Like it's instead of being like, maybe you shouldn't be with someone like that. It's an old school mentality. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's that. And she raves about Schwartz. And Jax also says, yeah, I don't need Scheana or Lala. This is not going to be Vanderpump Rules 2.0.
Oh,
And the only person that he really wants on the Valley is Schwartzy, that this is his best friend.
okay.
And he really wants Schwartz there. And he does not need Scheana or Lala there or anyone else from Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems like they're going to be there though because they were doing TikToks with the new cast. So I'm like, I mean, I think they're Sheena's definitely going to be on in some capacity.
She is going to be on. You know what it made me think is that here is Jax. He lives next to Schwartzy now. And now that he's left the marital abode where he was with Brittany, and he is saying this is his best friend. You do hear about Schwartz, and it's not even just for the show, him and Jax. It's like have Schwartz and Sandoval, I feel that they have broken up a little bit. I don't think that they're not Sutton and Garcelle, where I feel like nothing really happened, but Garcelle will probably never speak to Sutton again unless she runs into her. That's just my opinion. But, it goes back to like, I think that if you go into business with a friend and it doesn't work out, which Schwartz and Sandy's didn't, I don't think that they have recovered. I have decided this. I have looked into it. I have delved into it. I don't think that they're really so friendly anymore. I think he's off with Victoria, the
Yes.
model, and his girlfriend. And I think that Schwartzy and Jax are really hanging. And you never see Schwartzy and Sandoval on each other's Instagram, or it's kind of over, I feel.
I think so too. I think they've outgrown each other. And maybe Sandoval's like, I'm with my girlfriend, I'm trying to level up, I'm doing traders. It seems like he has a lot more of a cash flow than Tom does, Schwartz does. So I think Schwartz is like, well, I have to kind of, you know, attach myself to someone. So why not Jax? He's living next door. He's probably going to be over at my place. They're going to film without paying me. I might as well negotiate something for me, right?
I'm also thinking that maybe Scheana and Lala will not make it past this season, and I think maybe Schwartzy can work his way into the valley. Like
Mm-hmm.
the scenes are, they seem like a lot of people have slammed Lala for like everything you're saying to Jesse in this clip. You should have said to Randall, where she basically says Jesse's a piece of shit. It's like I don't know; those two feel more like stunt casting for me. Like Schwartzy's right there and next door, and I don't know if you're that good of friends with Jax. Like I don't think he's using Jax to get on the show, but I think it's organic. Like Schwartzy might make his way onto the show.
It's more organic, whereas like Sheena and Lala are driving to the valley. Like you don't live
Hmm.
in. It's kind of like when Garcelle was coming from Porter Ranch to Beverly Hills. It's like you don't live in Beverly Hills, so you're not really a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Either is Dorit, you're in Encino. Kyle, you're in Encino. Like that's the thing. It's like there is something about living in that zip code that is important, in my
And I
opinion.
put Bel Air in the same.
Yeah,
I
Bel
mean,
Air.
even Bose in Hancock Park, like that's nice. Like Hancock Park was the original Beverly Hills back in the day.
I'll allow it just because it's close.
Yeah.
Encino, I'm like you're nowhere near the 90210.
No,
Yeah,
nowhere, nowhere. I think Rinna lived in the 90210. I
she did.
think.
She did. It
Yeah.
was older, like I think she was in the Bird Streets, like one of those older homes.
Well, I mean, the Bird Streets is no joke. Yes, people trash her for having a shit ass house. It
So
has a
what?
great view. Yeah, I mean, Rinna could have a great house if she wanted. She just isn't interested.
She doesn't care. Like she could definitely upgrade the home, but why? When the house is probably valued, that land is valued for so much. Why would you even upgrade the house?
I think Rinna likes things for free. I have a feeling.
Yes, yes. And the house is
Like,
nice. It's not like my style, but it's nice.
it's not my style at all, but the view is great. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I've come to this on my own, but I've done my deep diving, and I think Schwartz and Sandy have, will speak and everything, but I think they've kind of broken up.
I think so too. I think there's definitely trouble in paradise. And